What's going on, Misfit Nation? Welcome to another episode of the Misfit Wrestling Podcast. I'm your host, Matt the Misfit. Tonight, we're going to go over Monday Night Raw for March 20th, 2023. 1 week away, the last stop. We have one more week to go. 3 more shows to go before WrestleMania, which comes to you live next weekend. That's going to be an insane weekend for me as a podcaster, because next week I got to cover Raw, SmackDown, Raw, AEW, Ring of Honor, television, the TV show, NXT, no, not NXT. What's the other damn show? SmackDown, Ring of Honor's pay-per-view, and then I got to cover 2 nights of WrestleMania, and then I got to start over again. We also got preview predictions for the Ring of Honor show, and Super Ring of Honor, and WrestleMania next week. It's going to be a stacked week, but we'll talk about that week when we get at the end of the show. We got Monday Night Raw tonight. More matches announced for WrestleMania. We got the tag title match. Usos, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens. That's been made official. You also seen an challenge issued to Finn Balor. Sure, we already know Edge, Finn Balor, Hell in a Cell, that's going to happen. But we now know that it is for sure going to be the Demon Finn Balor making its weird triumphant return against Edge, maybe Brood Edge. I don't know, whatever we're going to do there. We also found out who the participants in the men's tag team fatal 4-way match is going to be, which is a bunch of random teams. Well, they're actual team. Well, one of them isn't that. Well, one isn't an actual team, but the rest of them are in there. They're just doing 2 throwaway fatal 4-way matches. It's whatever on that. But if you like what you see here and listen here, hit the subscribe button, comment down below. Hit that like button. Follow the social medias, Misfit Wrestling Podcast on YouTube right here, youtube.com/@Misfit Wrestling Podcast, on the Twitter machine @Misfit Podcast TV, Misfit Wrestling Pod on Instagram. I'm not going to plug Facebook because no one uses it that much anymore. The other audio outlets: Spotify, Amazon Music, Audible, Stitcher, Pandora, iHeartRadio, and Google Podcast. I'm not doing iTunes. I know people keep asking me about it, but I'm not going to do that. So there's that. After this show is over, I got to edit this show here. After that, we got. I'm not going to review the shows, but I'm going to watch them. They're the 2 New Japan. I think it's the finals of the New Japan Cup. That's happening in a few hours, and also the Stardom show. There's a Stardom show main event. Cam Nakano challenging Julia for the World of Stardom title. That should be a lot of fun to do. I can't wait to see that. I think Hazuki is going to be wrestling a match on that show. I don't remember who she's wrestling. Good stuff. We'll talk about that some other time. But Monday Night Raw was an okay show. It went by very fast though, but it was decent. Like not a lot like match quality wise happened outside of maybe one match, which was the main event, which was Chad Gable and Ricochet, which put on an incredible, an excellent match, I thought. And we're going to talk about that and all that good stuff here. So I'm going to try to get back into the flow of things here with the show. Hopefully, starting this week with the Raw podcast. I'm going to try to get something out for something. I don't know. I'm going to try to do my preview and predictions for Ring of Honor Super Ring of Honor, because I kind of already know most of that show already, but I don't know if we know the spoilers for this week's Ring of Honor shows. But anyways, Raw opened up with the Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. They came out here talking all stuff about, hey, I think they like us, basically is what he's saying. And they were talking about how they always always found ways to get back to each other as friends. They're brothers. They call themselves that. Um, Kevin Owens says that he's always been a fan of Sami Zayn. I've always been a fan of Sami Zayn. You've been a fan of Sami Zayn. Whether they were friends or enemies, says that it was incredibly frustrating to see him under the control of Roman Reigns, saying that Sami was right and everything was right in saying that it was time for them to take down the bloodline together. That includes Cody Rhodes. Saw that last week on SmackDown, where Cody Rhodes played Peacemaker to get Sami and KO back on the same page, and it worked because let's be real, Cody Rhodes is that damn preacher. Okay, it's like a gospel preacher or something. I don't know how he does it, but he's just incredible at what he does. Sami says that he thinks they know what's going to come next. They know what is going to come out of their mouths next. They both look at the WrestleMania sign. The Usos music hits. Jimmy and Jay come out here. Jay calls Sami a backstabber. Then mocks Kevin Owens and says the two of them will backstab each other eventually, which is absolutely correct. Is it going to happen? Sami says that it's funny that he's talking about backstabbing because he knows that Jay's biggest dream is to backstab Roman Reigns. Jimmy says that Zayn was the one dreaming and staring at the WrestleMania sign. But nothing's going to happen. There's not going to be a tag team title match, as Owens would again challenge for the tag titles. But Jay then says, well, you know what? If you think about it, this is going to be our only chance to get rid of the Kevin Owens Sami Zayn problem for good. So they accepted the match. It's going to be Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn challenging the Usos for the tag team titles. We got a big brawl coming out here to break up the two teams. And what I loved about this segment was while the brawl was happening, Roman Reigns pulls up into the arena, and the brawl stops, and everybody's looking at the screen, and basically telling him, well, "Why don't you go get your boy?" or whatever. I loved it. It was great. It was just great. It was great. This should be the main event of WrestleMania of night one. From people I've talked to, and people that I've looked, I've seen rough drafts of the WrestleMania card in a way, and each one I've seen has Sami Zayn and the tag title match as the main event. And I also was told that main event was locked in like immediately after Elimination Chamber. That was the main event they were going for night one. And it just makes sense. You close night one with the downfall of the bloodline, and you close night two with hopefully the downfall of Roman Reigns as the universal champion. So that's what I'm looking forward to. Next up, we have Montez Ford and Austin Theory. The match was fine. This was just mostly a showcase to get Austin Theory to do a match with John Cena, which, again, this is the second week in a row not been on television. Cena will probably be on the Raw next week to have the final, I guess, go home segment between the two. Which very odd. They did one promo, one entire segment to get people interested in the match, and then Cena's not been on television since to continue building towards the match. And realistically, Austin Theory hasn't really cut many promos on Cena here, so I don't know what's going to happen here. So we'll see. Austin Theory wins by hitting the A-Town down. It was also a little bit of a showcase for Montez Ford, who is most likely going to get some type of push coming out of WrestleMania, depending on whether or not Triple H is still in charge of creative. Next up, following that match, Theory eventually grabs a microphone and says that Ford didn't believe him. Now he does, and then he puts Cena on notice and does the I believe he puts on the ASTF on Montez Ford. I think I could be wrong. That may have been last week or when he put that on Angelo Dawkins. I could be wrong. Then we got backstage, the Bloodline in the dressing room. Roman tells the Usos that it looked like as if they didn't have their best start of the night, and looked like that as if they took a beating, which they did, sort of. Jimmy says, well, they did. Nothing can hurt him like being torn away from Jay. Jimmy says that they will put an end to Sami and KO at WrestleMania. Roman then dismisses everyone except Jay. Roman tells Jay that it's been a minute since I've seen and heard from you. Says that he's had to beg Jimmy for answers, but now he's making decisions. Tells Roman then tells Jay that is he a part of the bloodline to make decisions, or is he part of the bloodline to be part of the family? Jay says he is a part of the family. Reigns says he hopes so. Roman says that that's all you need to hear, and then tells Jay that he'll see him later, which didn't actually happen. Jay gets up to leave. Roman basically says, "Well, hold on, I'm done." He tells Jay that he loves him, and then leaves without saying anything else. Paul Heyman, who's just off on the side of the camera, or it's off camera to the side, just weasels his ass his ass back into frame, which was hilarious to me. Just because he's just standing there waiting for Jay to get out of the frame so he can just walk right in. It was pretty hilarious. Heyman walks in and asks Reigns if he got the answers looking for. Reigns said he did. He did. So again, building towards the main event segment with the with Roman, Solo, and Paul Heyman out there with Cody Rhodes. Next up, we got Byron Saxton backstage with Adam Pearce. Byron asks Adam Pearce for some insight on the showcase matches, the two fatal four-way tag matches that were announced on SmackDown for WrestleMania. But before Adam Pearce can get any thoughts in, Karen Green comes walking in, says that he would like to speak to the manager again. Says that she can't find Carmella, which this is very interesting too. So I looked at the Raw plans, because Fightful Select, go subscribe Fightful Select, and they had because originally on the show it was supposed to be Asuka and Bianca Belair versus Chelsea Green and Carmella. For whatever reason, Carmella is missing from the show. There's no reason given to why she's missing. They just said she's not here, but I got a new partner, and that's Piper Niven. But Chelsea Green goes on to say that she wants to be in that tag match, the tag title match thing, or not the tag title match, the fatal four-way tag match at WrestleMania. And Adam Pearce says, "Well, I'm in the middle of finalizing that." But he also says, "Okay, go on with yourself. Go have your match with Asuka and Bianca Belair a little bit later on. Your new partner is fucking Piper Niven." Next up, we got Brock Lesnar and Lumos, who murdered Mustafa Ali with Dolph Ziggler watching on. I would love to know who the fuck Mustafa Ali pissed off backstage. I remember when Triple H first took over the show, they were doing something with Mustafa Ali, and then they just never went with it. I don't remember who was the United States champion at the time. Mustafa Ali was going to get some type of who was the champion? Who was the champion? I need to know now. United States. So I'm gonna look this up here because I don't know who the champion was. I think it was Bobby Lashley. Let me look here. Let me look here. It was Bobby Lashley. Okay, so Bobby Lashley was the champion when Triple H took over, and they did all that with they had that triple threat those great triple threat matches. The one with that had AJ Styles and I think it was AJ Styles, The Miz, and um who the fuck was the other guy? Mustafa Ali, and they looked like they were trying to build something for him, and he's just kind of fallen off. I don't know what the deal is here, but do something else with him. After the match, MVP says that almost fears no man or beast, but Brock Lesnar will learn to do so at WrestleMania. Yawn, yawn, yawn. Lesnar's gonna squash him. I know that's gonna happen. Then we go backstage. Logan Paul comes out here, starts walking out of his locker room like Goldberg, who thank fucking God is not with the company anymore. That news was broken earlier today. He's a free agent, and Triple H is like, no, we ain't keeping your ass around. Miz tries to get onto Impulsive TV, and Logan Paul's like, get the fuck out of here. Which got pop out of me because I don't care to see. Look, if you're not going to have Maurice with you, I don't give a fucking shit to see you on television. So we got Logan Paul out here doing the standard, your team left you, your team sucks. You don't have a team anymore, or the usual shtick where you see with heels. Seth Rollins interrupts in the production truck. He comes out there, crowd is singing his song. Logan Paul is trying to be annoying. Rollins doesn't even talk on the microphone. He just starts beating the hell out of Logan Paul. Then we had all these security guards and stuff like that come out here. The segment ended with Logan Paul hitting Rollins in the face with the boxing sucker punch thing, and that's how that segment ended. I don't care for the build to this match, but I know the match is going to be good because, god damn it, like I don't like Logan Paul as a person, but the dude can go in the ring, and I think him and Seth Rollins could very well have. There's some of these matches are on the show that even though the builds have been terrible, like for example, Rhea and Charlotte, Asuka, Bianca, Logan Paul, and Seth Rollins, like they could really steal the show if you think about it. But then we got a video package with Dominic talking about all the stuff from last week on SmackDown. Then we got Dominic Mysterio shockingly pinning Johnny Gargano clean, who is dealing with taped ribs because he is currently in a mini feud on NXT with Grayson Waller. He will be wrestling Grayson Waller at NXT Takeover. NXT Stand and Deliver. No, I'm not going to review that show. I have no interest in NXT. You guys should know that by now. But this match was nothing. I mean, yes, put Dominic in the ring with experienced guys like Gargano and back when they were trying to kind of tease what alliance he was going to be in, with AJ Styles. I still can't believe he pinned AJ Styles. That's something I still can't believe I read that sentence came out of my mouth. Anyways, Dominic grabs a mic. He says, at SmackDown, the entire family is going to be there, and I'm going to do something to make sure I get my match at WrestleMania. So this match is going to happen one way or another. I don't know how we're going to get there. But Dominic is doing a phenomenal job as a piece of shit heel, and I love it. Dominic joining the Judgment Day and being paired with Rhea Ripley was the best thing to happen to Dominic Mysterio. Had he remained a babyface, and not been paired with Rhea and the Judgment Day, I don't think he would still be employed. I don't like. I really think that, or that, or he would have been sent back to NXT. Would have been sent down to NXT. But luckily he's now surrounded by veterans. Oh, not I would call them veterans, but really experienced performers in Finn Balor, Rhea Ripley, and Damian Priest, and learning from all three of them, and eventually getting in the ring with people like a Johnny Gargano, or he's gonna be in the ring with his dad at WrestleMania. So that's kind of a big deal too. So um so uh before I go on to mention the next segment, speaking of this, at the Hall of Fame, they did announce earlier this morning rather, that Andy Kaufman will be going into the WWE Hall of Fame. About fucking time. He fucking deserves it. His feud with Jerry Lawler is legendary, and they even made a movie about his feud with Jerry Lawler. So that's pretty cool. So congratulations to the late Andy Kaufman for that. Rhea Ripley heads down to the ring. She's cutting a promo, basically saying, "I'm gonna beat her at WrestleMania." That was basically the promo. Bailey's Damage Control music hits. Bailey basically disrespects Rhea. Gets challenged to a match. Bailey, for some reason, is the only one in her wrestling gear. It's just hilarious to me. You pulled a pack here. That's pretty funny to me. Next up match. This match was Bailey and Rhea. This match really was designed for Damage Control versus the Becky, Trish, and Lita thing. But also, because Rhea got the win here with the Riptide, but also this kind of teased a little bit more of the eventual the eventual Becky Rhea feud, which I'm hoping when Rhea wins the SmackDown Women's title, Becky comes over to SmackDown, gets away from Raw, comes over to SmackDown, and they build that up for SummerSlam, and we get Becky and Rhea. I think Becky and Rhea is a perfect SummerSlam match for Rhea Ripley, and then Rhea can beat Becky at SummerSlam. That'd be great. Chad Gable trying to find Otis, or Otis as he's called now apparently. Otis is getting a pedicure for some weird ass reason. And then we go to our next match, which really technically was not on the what's the word I'm looking for? The rundown. Ricochet and Chad Gable, which was a fun match. Ricochet was with Braun Strowman, or Braun Strowman, and Gable was with Otis. Match was back and forth. It was great stuff. But a distraction from Maxine Dupree, who just takes Otis away from the ringside. Ricochet hits the sliced bread, and then a shooting star press for the win. And Ricochet goes on to that, and we do find out that it is going to be because WrestleVotes is the one who originally broke this story on Friday. It's going to be this men's fatal 4-way tag team match at WrestleMania. It's going to be Braun Strowman and Ricochet versus Alpha Academy versus Viking Raiders versus Street Profits. And then on the women's side, we only know of Raquel and Liv Morgan as one team. So, and there's that. We also got the whole thing with the Demon doing something there. So, yeah. And right now, the only other match, so we don't know what's going to happen with. I'll talk about Bray Wyatt after the whole thing here because that will figure out something there. The main event match here: Bianca Belair and Asuka defeated Carmella and Piper Niven. This match really was designed to do the whole "can't they coexist" thing, which hilariously Corey Graves said this shit never works on television, like ever. We're on even during the road to WrestleMania, they never work out. And I think that was Triple H getting in the ear of Corey saying, "Hey, we're getting rid of this what I'm looking for. What did I call it? This what the hell was the what word did I use to describe this? What word did I use to describe this? Oh, okay, so we're getting rid of this concept after Mania. So bury it is what I called it. I couldn't remember the wording I was looking for, but um I'm assuming Asuka turned heel. I'm not sure. Asuka should just win. They should just have straight up. I'll have Asuka win at WrestleMania. Asuka stood tall here. I'm assuming Bianca's going to stand tall next week, which going by WWE go home math, or wrestling go home math in general, the person who stands tall on the go home show ends up losing at the pay per view. I hope that's the case because I need somebody else with the title other than Bianca Belair. I'm kind of over the whole Bianca Belair push, and it's kind of gotten boring if I'm being completely honest. Like stuff with Becky was fine, but but all she did was with that title run, with both title runs, by the way, for the SmackDown and Raw Women's title, was feud with Becky, and it got old really fast. Yeah, sure, Sasha came in, but only had like one match with Bianca in this entire through the whole thing. Outside of Bianca beating Sasha for it, that was it. She had a chance to uh, face Bianca, but she walked out. Oh, she walked out. Sorry, I hit my microphone there. She walked out of the company. Now she's over there to New Japan Pro Wrestling. So, you know, I just want I we've seen Asuka as a women's champion. We haven't seen Asuka as a women's champion under Triple H. And though I'm not sure if I have much faith in that now because they haven't Triple H Triple H hasn't really booked his women like he did in NXT. He should be booking them exactly like he did in NXT, which is I don't know why he's not. I don't give a shit if you need to appease the mainstream audience. Just book your shows like you did in NXT. It's not that difficult. If you need to get fucking Bruce Pritchard out of there. Get Bruce Pritchard out of there and bring back whoever the guy was that was in charge of NXT storylines. Put him in that seat. It's not that hard to do. Main event segment here. Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns comes out. He says, St. Louis acknowledge him before he can finish his entire segment. Cody Rhodes music hits. He comes out here and he asks, well, what does St. Louis want to talk about? He addresses that, you talk about this thing called the Cody problem. Well, I want you to tell me what you mean by the Cody problem. He wants Cody wants Roman to clarify what it means. Heyman was about to respond, and Cody's like, nope. Respectfully, Paul, shut the fuck up. That's what he said. It's basically what he said here. I'm asking Roman Reigns. Roman says that it's not. You aren't the problem. It's what you represent is what the problem is. He says Rhodes is what they used to be, and that is a professional wrestler. Roman says Cody didn't want to be Stardust, so he ran away. He says that Cody went and started another promotion, AEW, and couldn't get over in AEW and ran away. Says that he got over when he came back to WWE and his body gave out and he tore his pec. Roman says that Cody won't finish the story on April 2nd. His real moment will come on April 3rd when he looks into the mirror and has to confront the adversity again. That he's just going to run away again. That he's just looking in the mirror to be something that Dusty Rhodes can be proud of, rather than basically a loser, I guess. Cody then says, well, what you say is true. All you just said was true. However, what he did to ensure every locker room could make 100% more money than they have ever done in their lives, says that he tried to be a superstar, and wanted to be one, but no one needs to bring that. But he says, like, I'm done with this whole bringing up my father shit. Bring him up one more time, and I'm gonna vomit. Is what he said, and then he says the only thing that Reigns will see at WrestleMania is not Dusty Rhodes coming on there hitting a bionic elbow. It's not Dustin doing some Shattered Dreams because he's in another promotion. It could be me at WrestleMania, and says that his mother would tell him to knock Reigns out. Says that, and then hit him for another measure. Says the Reigns will need to remember what it's like to lose. Says that when he does lose the titles, the Usos, Solo Sikoa, will leave him, and Paul Heyman will go back to being an advocate, probably for Brock Lesnar. Reigns will become a man without a family, will become a man without a Roman without Reigns, and a chief that doesn't have a tribe. And Reigns Roman was speechless, and it was great. I loved it. It was great. Roman leaves the ring along with Heyman. Solo Sikoa just is still in the ring. He stares down Cody. Roman's like, "What are you doing?" Solo's about to leave. Rhodes says he knew he wasn't ready for the big time because he mentioned it earlier and in the promo that I used to be that guy and I wasn't ready. Basically talking about his run with Randy Orton and Legacy. Solo gets set up with a Samoan spike, but Cody catches him with a boot. Solo looks to attack Cody, but Roman talks him out of it and says, "Next week you can have him." And then that's how Raw went off the air. So Raw was all right. Like I said, nothing major happened outside of the tag title match being announced and that incredible closing segment with the Roman Reigns and the winner of the Royal Rumble, Cody Rhodes. I'm looking forward to that match at WrestleMania. Pull the trigger on Cody Rhodes as the champion. It's time for a new champion to be on Raw. I'm sick and tired of not having a world champion on this show or on SmackDown because he's barely on SmackDown too. But that's what I have to say about this show here. It was all right. Nothing, like I said, nothing big happened here. But what did you guys think about this week's Monday Night Raw? Let me know down in the comment section below, or in the YouTube section, that is. And do all the, like I said before at the beginning of the show, the social medias, all that stuff is there. The other audio platforms, it's all going to be in the description below, and on the Twitter machines and all that stuff here. I will see you guys back here. I will see you guys again back here for not Ring of Honor, AEW Dynamite. Then hopefully back for Ring of Honor reviews, and then Friday Night SmackDown, and then we do this all over again. But I have been Matt the Misfit. This has been the Misfit Wrestling Podcast. Until then, we're out.